passed it on, and like that's it.
I think the work that he was doing too, still with the game, he was still working with the likes of Kawhi Leonard and trying to help like DeMar DeRozan and the superstars coming through now. The work he was doing, I suppose, behind the scenes, it sort of went unnoticed too. That's going to be a massive loss for the game itself.
Yeah.
Just that, obviously, he had like such a successful mindset and the skill set to go with it. To pass that on, that's a huge loss.
Yeah, and the sad it is, I've probably got more respect for the bloke now. You've heard all those stories and realise all that, and like it's a shame that beforehand, you sort of don't realise that until something like this happens, and then it's all brought to public.
Sudden stop.
But it's funny, like you say. I always was a bit similar. I wouldn't say I was a huge Kobe fan, but then as I said, I thought back to that game at the Lakers game, and I went to the game because he was playing. And then I went there and I didn't buy a Lakers shirt. I bought a Kobe shirt, like to go to the game, so things like that. So and it would have been dirty if he didn't play because I'm like, well, Dwight, they played Orlando and Dwight Howard was playing for Orlando, so they're going, well, it was a pretty good game and all the rest of it. But so I think that's been a big thing, and even in the NBL in Australia, we've seen that they've done 24 seconds of applause before each tip off of each game this round. So. Yeah, so a lot of things, but if you got any thoughts on the Kobe or things like that, share them with us. Also, we've got a huge show tonight, so share the feed. If anyone you think might want to watch or tune in, share it far and wide. We'll be here for an hour or so just talking rubbish. So you might
General Thursday chat.
Garbage.
So on that note, we will take a break, and joining us after the break, two blokes that probably more interesting to talk to than us, Chris George and Carl Jochimson.
In my line of work, I see a lot of kitchens and great renovations on a daily basis. And look, the work that the guys at Weston's do is phenomenal. Like their attention to detail is definitely second to none.
We knew we had what idea we had in mind. We wanted modern, we wanted sleek, and they worked with us the entire way. Their design team helped us, and anything that didn't look like it might have worked well, they helped us rectify and suggested different points that we could take on for the kitchen. So it was great. They were perfect to work with, and we'd definitely do it all over again with them.
Bathrooms next.
Just about done, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the Semi-Pros. Some great guests in the studio tonight. We've had some awesome guests on this show, but this bloke might go straight to the top of the tree when you're talking international stardom. Carl Jochimson, international angler. How you going?
Good, mate. Good to be here.
What are you doing back in Toowoomba?
Seeing his funeral. He's done. No, Chris is getting married. So my season's sort of starting up, and Chris is getting married on Sunday. So bit of a short and sweet trip, but well worth it.
So that's why Chris isn't playing golf on the weekend. How you going?
I've been a bit bacon, haven't I, at the golf course?
Normally takes something pretty big to keep him away too, I reckon.
Sneak in a game for it.
I figure if I have this week off, I'll get a bit in on the honeymoon. New course.
We hope so. So that'll be good to see you back on at the golf course. But yeah, Carl, so back here now, you're in your off season at the moment?
Kind of. It's pretty much kicked off, but I've fished a Open sort of leading up to flying out, and the Elite Series starts. I'm kind of missing a day and a half of practice during the flight, so my camper, boat and truck and everything is set up in the St Johns River, and Chris gets married the next morning. We're straight down to Brizzy, fly out Brisbane, LA, Orlando, drive up, and I'll be practicing for the first Elite. So she's a bit of a mission, but I've got to fish an Open, Bassmaster Open, which is kind of just anyone can fish it. I've got my boat, truck, everything dialed in, got to fish a full tournament, so everything's kind of set. And then she was sort of a week and a half mission over here, and then straight into it.
Yeah, so last season was incredible for you. Like, we know your name from around here, starting around here, trying to make your name in the States, but last year was a real breakthrough year for you.
Yeah, for sure. It was, it didn't start that way. It was a hell year. It was actually one of my worst, and it was one of those years where I had huge high hopes. I was back on the Bassmaster Elite Series, back against the top 100 in the world, and kind of it just didn't, and nothing went to plan that I was hoping for. And so we went through a year with like, is this really happening again? I'm on my 10th year. I'm grinding. I'm doing everything right. I've showed that I can mix it with the best, but I just couldn't get that breakthrough. And on the last event of the season, doesn't matter what sport you're in, every athlete has that that season or that game that gives them that huge boost, puts them at the top. And I just couldn't get that breakthrough. I've never had it. I've come close. I've shown the signs. I've almost got there, had the belief, and then just out of nowhere, just bang, last event of the season, and it all went down. I won. Became the first Aussie to ever win a Bassmaster Elite Series.
How does that sort of how does the rankings and things work? So you're sort of saying you've had the worst season. Was it looking like you were going to fall out of that Bassmaster Elite Series? Like, is it like a golf sort of thing where you missed the cut or something? Or
yep. So I made the Elites in 2015, and then you've got a 2-year buffer, and you've got to finish inside the top. You can't finish below the top sort of 2015, or you've got a chance of getting kicked out. And my problem is I kind of swing for the fences. I'm always going for like the win. I find it very hard to be consistent in what I do, just the way I fish. I have to, and what that results in is me either having a shot to win or being at the very bottom of the leaderboard. And I've really worked hard over the past couple of years to pick that up. And with what happened with the Elites, I just lost that again, and I went for it every time, and next minute I found myself at the bottom. But like in fishing, it's very rare sport because it's so hard to win. It's like nearly impossible. There's 7 guys won this year. Like it's and guys that I know that have been doing this their whole life, that have lived and breathed it, they've never won an Elite Series trophy ever. They're 70 years old, won millions of dollars, been doing it, haven't won. You can come second a lot, or third, or top 10, and just crossing that line into that win, it sort of cements you. There's guys over there that have made huge careers over one win in their life. So I just knew what that one win would mean to Australia, me, my sponsors, the fans, and everything. So I always found myself going for it. So big weight off my shoulders to get that win and be like, it's done. I got it. I did it. And now I'm excited to fish this season and try and get that consistency, get it back, and try and make the Bassmaster Classic, be in contention for Angler of the Year, and sort of get on track that way without being one end or the other.
I suppose a lot of people like myself think fishing, you turn up, throw a bit of bait on a hook or a lure in the water, and that's about the extent of it. But obviously at that level, there's a lot more into it. What sort of things you do to prepare? Is it a matter of just getting out and getting casts in the water, or is there other things you look at, sort of reading waterways, all that sort of stuff that goes into sort of being prepared for these sort of series?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, it's like no different to any other sport. It's a big mental side of things, but the big one is just knowledge. You know, I'm versing guys that have lived and breathed that sport, that species of bass. Their fathers have taught them on those lakes. Their grandfathers taught them, and so forth. And for me, to where I'm at is I've fished every second of chance I can get since I was 4 years old. And so that is what's held me in good stead over there. But even though I'm versing a different species, but in the past 10 years, I've lived and breathed, been on the water, daylight till dark, 16-hour days, tackle work, prep. I work on my fitness, mental, coaches, the whole works. Like it's all comes into a big package, but pretty much it comes down to I've spent more time in the water than just about any human on the planet, and those top couple guys have done the same thing. But you know, for off season, there's sponsorships. You're working for sponsors. You're redoing your entire boat again. You get a new boat, new rig, new sounders. You're dialing things in. You're trying new techniques. You're constantly working on your craft, no matter what. Like I've had the odd time off, but every little thing I'm doing is generally trying to improve myself and get better at what I do. And that's what it takes to kind of beat those guys, because it's out of control. Like I was telling Chris, and I tell a few people, Rick Clunn still fishes, and he's a superstar of the sport over there. He's 72 years old, and he was leading an event last year on an area he found in 1984, and that was the year I was born. So, like, that's the kind of experience you're going against, and it's hard to beat them guys like that.
In terms of, you're lobbing up there at the lake and throw the boat in the water, and like you said, you got your tackle and everyone's ready to go. Like, you fished a couple of times at that lake leading into the first day of your event, I presume. Like you said, you have practice on the lake.
Yep.
So everyone just takes off in their boat, and then you just go and find your spots and just launch into it. Do you have a fair idea, like on a map sort of thing, like, all right, I'm going to try these 5 spots, or?
Yeah, you got a real game plan. So you got the whole lake's mapped. It's got contours. You're looking at time of year, water temperature, conditions, general temperature, wind direction, water clarity. All of these things are just like boom, boom, boom. You're putting everything into place to know what those fish are doing, why they're setting up, why they're doing it, whether they're going to be shallow, and then you're fishing the conditions as well. You can practice 3 days. You get a 3-day practice. You could have sunny skies and high barometer temperature for 3 days, and a cold front can come through, and you've got to be ready to drop everything and go. And that's where that experience comes in. Those guys are like, yep, seen this before. I'm going to do something totally different. And then I'm over there fishing what I caught them on yesterday, and they're gone. Those fish just totally adjust and move to exactly what they want to do for their prime sort of feeding. And basically, you got to think like them. You got to be like, why are they doing this? And you got to be like one step ahead of the game. And that's kind of what happened at Tinkiller, the lake that I won at, is just I got in front of those fish and were thinking ahead, and it was towards the end of the year, and pressure was getting to a lot of the guys that are at the top, and they tried to fish safe, and I had nothing to lose, so I got to fish free and went for it, and everyone was on the bank fishing like areas that you could get a lot of bites but not big ones, and I was fishing offshore away from everyone, my own thing in 30 feet of water, and I was getting 6 bites a day, which is not many. You lose one, I come nowhere, but I was putting them in the boat, and that was the difference between sort of winning and losing.
Yeah, unreal. And like you talked about what it meant for Australian fishing and Eastern Australia in general now. Shows how close you are to the lake beside you. You're coming fair way out of your way to do this, by the sounds of things, to come over for a wedding, for a party. So, so Chris, what did it mean to you when you've watched the journey and you've obviously grown up together? What did it mean? And you understand the magnitude of what Carl did last year. Well, a lot of people probably don't get how big a deal it really was.
It's funny. It's like a lot of things. You you envision something happening when it seems unrealistic. Like we envisioned it years ago, and this feeling of just like, holy hell, he's won or whatever. But the journey there, the depletion that happens to you over the journey, it's like he wins and you're like, oh yeah,
Thought that might happen.
It wasn't, I expect him to win sooner or later. Like it's like the journey and all the hardship that drew us there was like, it was just sort of, wasn't as like the emotion that you think you were going to have 5 years ago. I guess it happens in a lot of sports, because I just don't think you're ready for that until you've done the hard yards or whatnot. So, I mean, it wasn't...
If it happened quick, it would be like bang, but it's like 10 years.
But it was one of them things that, like, I guess it took a few days or a few weeks to realise the enormity of it, and then see what successes come of it afterwards, because the time it was just sort of, it was sort of surreal. But I guess the best part of what happened for Carla was the coverage and the emotion that showed in it, so that when he did win that comp, you could see and feel the emotion, and that's what like came through to the viewer and has given him like a lot more out of that win than he would have got had he have won it, you know, in his first year and was happy but didn't really feel it deep down. You know, that emotion wouldn't have come through, and he wouldn't have got with them as much as he has done now. So, you know, he deserves everything he gets, and you know, it couldn't happen to a better person.
Yeah, I remember waking up, and not a fishing follower or anything, just knowing yourself. Or someone shared the moment, I think, that you pulled your last fish in, and I think you've thrown it in the well and just laid down, basically screaming crying, on the boat, and just you knew you had the win under your belt.
And shaking. I think you were shaking
I got
too,
goosebumps.
right? Yeah.
Just being like someone who's played sport, you get goosebumps seeing that sort of thing. Yeah. That's what, you know, drives everybody to be able to get to that and feel that emotion. But from that, has that led to like fan base, people, celebrity status over there with the following that the fishing gets? I know it's like nothing over here compares to what they do over there. So you get that following, people sort of jumping on board or jumping on the bandwagon with you?
Yeah, for sure. It's like, you know, that win and that exposure, because, you know, it's on ESPN, it's on all the big channels. And, you know, some of those guys, they win. They've won millions of dollars, $6 million in prize money, and a lot of them will win, and they're just, like, happy. But, like, people had followed my journey a fair bit, but, like, a lot of the Americans are just like, how are you even here? Like, they can't even believe that I'm fishing the elites. So they've followed that story, and then when they got to see it, and then they're like, he's leading right now in the last day, and then it just was built and built and built. And it just, I think the big one was like 10 years or 20 years of my lifetime of work. And when I caught that fish, I said, I've been waiting my whole life to catch that fish. And you could just, like, I can't even watch it. I tear up if I watch it again. I just choke up because it just brings me back to that moment. And it was, you know, I'd caught 4, and there was a 3-hour window where if I had 16 pounds for 4, and if I didn't catch another one, the guy would have beat me. Chris Zaldain would have beat me. So I had to catch that one more to close it out. And I'm like, this is the worst scenario ever. If I come second right now with what I've got, I'm never going to live it down. I'll never forget it. I've got to finish this deal. And I had a 3-hour window where every scenario is playing through your head. I've got 30, 40 boats chasing me on every spot. I've got every eye on me, the camera, the whole works. And then it was just like, bang, I finally got that bite. And when I landed that fish, it would literally just the weight of the world come off me, and like I couldn't stand up. Like I just wanted to lay on that deck, and all the emotion came out. So I had old guys that have been doing it their whole life, Rick Clunn and all the biggest names in the sport, like kind of said thank you to me. They were just like, when you're doing what you're doing, you're trying to think that winning, you have to win to be successful, and you don't know that if what you're doing is the right thing. And when I won, I had every single competitor, angler, my heroes of the sport stay back and watch me weigh in. And they all took the time to just congratulate me, write me a message, call me and everything. And it just was like that validation of like, man, I've been doing the right thing the whole time. I just hadn't had that like crossover into that win. And that's what I feel like I wanted to represent Australia at the best I could. I didn't want any little bad words said about Australia, and doing that the way that I did took longer. I could have taken a lot of easier routes, got more information, but doing it the right way took a lot longer. But when I finally got that win, it meant a lot more to the people. And when I had the people, you know, that stayed back and supported me, I was like, I've been doing it right, and it made it just that much better.
And for yourself, Carl, obviously a big goal setter, you know, in everything what you do. Like you said, you went to the States, you had all these goals and ambitions and dreams and things. You've just achieved, you know, the biggest one that you set out to do. 2020 rolls around. That's the last tournament of 2019. 2020 rolls around.
Yep.
What's in store for you? What's the goals now, mate?
So the biggest, I'm on the Bassmaster Elite Series, and that's like, now it's the top 85 guys in the world. And winning one of them is kind of like winning, you know, a PGA event or whatever in golf or something. But like the Bassmaster Classic is the pinnacle of bass fishing. It's what every single kid, every angler, any bass fishing, that has what has inspired them to pick up a fishing rod and go fishing or tournament fish, is by seeing that. And it is pretty much the 50 guys get in through a point system, Angler of the Year over the year through the Elite Series. And it'll be, you weigh in a stadium and there'll be 20, 30,000 people, packed stadium, screaming their heads off. You got your song just blaring, you drive your truck and boat in, the whole crowd goes nuts, you pull a fish out of the live well. It's the whole show, and it just gives you goosebumps. And that has been the real goal. This has been a big lead up, and I'm just taking that step by step, and having that Elite Series win now has taken a bit of the pressure off to be like, okay, like I said, I've got to get that big one. I've got to get that consistency to get in that Bassmaster Classic. I can't have those bad ones. And so the big dream is to, like, Aussies have come over and watched me weigh in and been to an Elite Series event, and they'll have 60,000 people come through an event over the space of 4 days. But that Classic, it's something, it's crazy. 5,000 people at the boat ramp watching them back their boats in. And it can be freezing.
Whatever floats your boat, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, it'll be in the minuses, and they'll be out there with their kids, flags, the whole show, and they're just so pumped about it. And that's the dream of like every single bass angler, you know, pretty much all around the world. So for me, making that, I think, I really want my family got to come over for my wedding and all sorts of stuff, but like that's the sort of thing where Aussie fans, if I make it, I think that'll, you know, this exposure here is amazing, and I want to keep putting it out there, but it sucks that Today's Show, Fox Sports, someone aren't saying like, man, we've got an Aussie over there beating the Americans at the best in the game. What I did is near impossible. It might never be done again, and I can't get on there. Like, I can't get that proper exposure. And Aussies are proud, but in the fishing community, it's massive and it's spreading. But it'd be cool to get mainstream sort of stuff.
Sort of support,
it's because fishing in Australia isn't a mainstream sport. Like if it was as big as it was in America, we'd be following the same progress. It's just not as big here. It's just a whole different ball game here.
Yeah.
You did mention that you had the family over for the wedding there, and I believe as part of the Bucks week, or you had a fishing comp over there, and you got dusted.
I heard
you got dusted. They come back crowing. I'll tell you what, he's got off the plane and come back to the golf course, had the chest puffed out a little bit further. Those drives went a little bit further down there because he just had that little bit of confidence behind him. Yeah, so he dusted you in the family fishing comp.
Yeah, I got to let him win a couple here and there.
He gave me the dud lure too. I just outfished him.
No, it's always a competition. You know, that's you know why the reason Chris got to where he did with boxing is partially because of how much me and my family and the people around him push him to make sure like we'll beat him at anything we can, and it's vice versa. So when we're on the water, it's always a competition. You're always pushing each other to be better, and like the reason we got so far in our chosen sports is because we competitive at everything.
So you did grow up fishing with it. Like where'd the fishing come from? So through the family, who started or what?
Oh yeah, Granddad took us fishing like for years when we were young, just on the river and that. And I was real young, and the boys were a bit older, us and the cousins and stuff. And yeah, Carl was always like the leader. He was just more keen. We were just there for a holiday. And
you baiting his hooks, mate, weren't you?
Carl he lured me into fishing by like, we'd go away and he'd cook and clean and have the boat ready, and I'd just show up, get fed, and we'd go out fishing, and we just seemed to catch fish all the time. I thought it was great, you know, like. So he sort of got me into it that way. When he left, I've sort of fizzled right out of it. Learned you had to fuel your own boat and drive yourself there. It was a torture. So I'm sort of back right off since Carl left. But when Carl was here, it was heaven. We used to call him Mumsy at the campsite. What's for dinner, Mum? He'd cook up. He's always just been passionate about the whole deal with whether it's hunting, fishing, outdoors. Just he'd go and watch ants how they work if he had to. Like he's just an outdoors person. He's always been that way. And I thought I was, but when I learnt the reality of fishing and outdoors, I become a city folk.
It was, fishing for me has been a big passion and doing it, but like it's even from way back then, it was always about showing. Like I wanted to show someone, like I wanted to get them the feeling that I had for fishing. So it's all, and still now, like I 100% don't care if I don't catch another fish the rest of my life. As long as I got to take people and show them that experience, like I want them to catch them. And even the last time we came, Chris caught a huge cod out at Kubi, and I was with him, and like he hadn't been fishing for a bit, but we went and chased that, and he got that fire and that buzz back, and we got, that's what I want to. I love seeing that, and when I take kids out and that their parents don't fish, but I take them and they hook that first fish. That's what I just live for. That seeing that emotion and getting that little bug. I want to get them outside, get them away from the computer games, get them on the lake, in the outdoors, the real kind of stuff. And it's weird. I've just had that even when I was 16. I'd meet people at tackle store, fishing bits, everywhere I worked. I've taken thousands of people that I didn't even know. Just had a little interest, and I was like, I'll take you out and catching some fish. And I've cost a lot of people a lot of money.
Great sales.
They get the bug, and next minute bass boats and rods and reels.
Oh, you need to buy one of these, mate. Oh,
this is what you caught it on.
Look what you did with this.
So Chris has had you working since you've been here, obviously.
Yeah, he's put me to work.
He's been doing tours out to.
I saw that you guys had an online auction, and that you raised money for the bushfires.
Yep.
Now you said you enjoyed taking people out fishing. I saw that the last thing that was up for auction was you and your cousin, isn't it?
Yep, Matthew Langford. He actually run. It sort of runs in the family. Matty used to come out with us on the river. He's got the real outdoors, fishing passion as well, and he's a guide on a lot of the lakes here. He came over to America. He made the Bass Nation Championship and represented Australia on that. He used my boat and truck. I just lent him the whole show, and he went to Hartwell, and he would have
looked like a superstar, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's like loving it. And again, I just wanted to see him just, mate, go for it. He's like, who would give you boat and truck? I'm like, I want you to feel that thing, that I've had. And he took it, and he's bloody in third going into the last day. And the top three made the Bassmaster Classic for the following year. So, like, he was...
he would have been where you wanted to be.
Yeah, like, I was like, my boat's going to be in the Classic, and I'm not going to be in it next year. But I would have loved it, I want that. And so we auctioned a trip off fish with me and Maddie either in Australia here, and then if they wanted to, they could fly to America, and I'd take them for a day. And the guy, it went for $6,000. And then,
I was following on the auction. I was like, geez, this is going to be interesting. Have they let on where they're going to fish?
So he ended up putting another 1,000 in, so it went for 7,000, and he's going to do a trip with me and Matty here and a trip with me. He said, can I throw in another 1,000, do both? I was like, yep.
That's awesome.
So we raised 20 grand in 3-hour auction with only a handful of items. And that just showed, like, the Aussie support.
But I couldn't believe the numbers that you blokes have. There's like 400 people on there.
Yeah.
I just saw it flick up. Chris George shared this, so I just clicked on it, and here's a pair. Here's about 400 people chiming in, wanting to buy things.
And we had a bit of trouble with the internet, so it was a bit slow. And, like, some of them, like, people paid $2,700 for a jersey, and then like we'd sell it, and then someone would be like $3,000, $3,200, and we're like, oh, sorry, you didn't get in. But
talk to council about NBN.
Yeah.
They look after that. Or
no, that's a federal government issue.
Certainly someone can lobby for us battlers.
All the council money is going to golf, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, that's another story.
But so that was a big part of me flying over. Is like, it was weird. I was in Tennessee. We've got a new place over there, and it was pouring rain for weeks and weeks on end, torrential. Everything's flooded, and I'm just sitting there, just on my phone, just Australia's on fire. And like, I didn't sleep for like 2 weeks. I just felt helpless. I'm like, this is the strangest feeling, and just felt helpless. And I'm like, I want to do something, and that's when I come up with the idea, and Chris has got the best platform with the auction thing, and we started promoting it, and it went unreal. We raised 20 grand, and we've found 2 unbelievable places, a wildlife place here that we're going to help out, and we'll post about that shortly, and going to go to some people down south that got really affected.
Yeah,
so.
no, it's hats off to you guys. So, with based in America, how long do you think you'll be there, or is it? There forever?
He married an American, so he might be there for life.
There forever, or is it?
I think I'll probably be there, forever. I think I just want to get in a position where, you got no idea the appreciation I have for Australia coming back now. It's like I land here and I'm just like a big, deep breath. I'm like, I love being home. And like, I see people around. I'm like, you got no idea like how good you got it right here. I love home. Like, I just love it so much. But at the same time, I love America. America's a hunting, fishing, outdoors dreamland. Like, it's crazy. If you are into any of them, it's the greatest place on the planet. And but coming home, like, we are just so much more. America's like go, 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 and you just get after it, and there's no other option. You're just 100% on it, trying to achieve the best of the best all the time, and the people around you are doing it as well, and that helps you to get a long way. But when you come home, you tend to, people are just so down to earth, relaxed. It's a safer environment. Our wildlife, our trees, just getting out. I don't know. There's something about it. I have a bigger appreciation. So I always want to be able to come home, like in that off season. And I just want to have the money to be able to be like, I want to fly home and come in for a certain fishing season, go cod fishing, do something here, be able to go back and fish my season over there. And that would be the ultimate goal. And I've been able to do that. It's just, we won some money and got ahead, but it's been a grind leading up to before that win. But I'll never just be living in America. I'll always call Australia home. I'll always be coming back.
So people want to follow your journey. How do they? You through social media is the best way if people want to.
Yep, follow us just through Instagram, Facebook. I've got a website, but I'm posting a couple times a day, trying to keep everyone up to date. And for all the Aussies, just get on Instagram or Facebook, and you can follow the journey. Yeah,
and you've jumped in the ring as well. So speaking of,
he's the only undefeated fighter in the family, actually.
I didn't know if you'd admit to that, but I like to throw that one up when I can.
That's his claim to fame.
Don't want to say how many fights, but just undefeated.
Family of fighters, he's the only undefeated one.
And that was awesome. We raised some money, and that was one of probably the greatest experiences of my life, because it was at a point in my fishing career, where I got kicked out of the elites, and I was like wondering what I was going to do and where I was at in life. And that fight, just like that, there's no worse sport. There's nothing worse than getting in that ring. And like, I had never experienced. I'd sparred with Chris, but it's just different. And when I got through that and got past it, I was unstoppable. I was like, I can do anything. If I could do that in front of all them people, even though it was just like that, the confidence I gained from that, and the experience of training with Chris and getting a bit of a feel of what he goes through every day. I'm so lucky that I had Chris and got to do that in my life, because
that was another thing I was going to ask you, actually, particularly with did you see a lot of similarities in the boxing and the fishing, in the sense that it's just you against everyone else?
Yeah, for sure. It's like Chris and I constantly, when he was like in his peak, we would just have big conversations on the phone constantly, just of different things. And it's the same thing. It's like, it's pretty much all in your head. It's all between the ears. Everything you do. It doesn't matter how good or skilled you are at anything. If you're not right between the ears, it's just not going to happen. And until you have your things in a row in your life, you're just not going to be able to peek over that lip. And for Chris, we are in two different sports, as in I can do this until I'm 80, where Chris had a window where his body's gonna, and you're getting punched in the head. It's a brutal sport, but
golf was calling.
Yeah, so in golf was.
I can do that for a long time.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the sort of the difference. So it's a slower mentality, but constantly working on the thing between the ears and trying to make sure you've got, a big one is just. Doesn't matter if you're the best fisherman in the world, a Commonwealth champion, that just makes you a good fisherman. It makes you a good boxer. But if you're not a good husband, brother, friend, son, all of those things, then you're not successful. You're just a good boxer, a good fisherman. And lining those things up and getting those good things going in your life and working on being happy, that's when it converts to you being pretty unstoppable in your sort of chosen sport.
Yeah, wow, incredible. So I think we've kept you longer than we said we would, so I apologise for that, but it's been really interesting, and we'll actually, I'm sure our team over here will get the interview up later with Carl and Chris. So, mate, I really appreciate you dropping in. Again, as you said, it is an incredible story. So if people didn't know the story, like the insight you're given to stay, as Steve said, before, you just sort of goosebumps thinking about those moments of being present in that, or just the understanding of the magnitude of what you've been able to achieve. And so it's great that you're here. Good reason to be here as well. Yep. So we look forward to Sunday. So, but all the best to yourself, and Chris, all the best with your wedding.
I'm sure I'll see you very soon on the golf course when I get back from honeymoon.
Yeah, we'll get through Sunday first for you. But so that's all the best with that. I ask you quickly to say, every boxer has a comeback. Not many boxers retire once. You done?
Yeah, the only time I think about it is when I'm running the treadmill. Like, you start running, you think, I'm feeling all right. Like, the first probably kilometre, I'm coming back. I'm thinking, I'm reading Smithy, I'm back. And then about 1.6k in, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Treadmill these days, mate, not out and around the roads.
It's too hot.
Yeah. Bit flatter on the treadmill too, isn't it?
There's signs telling me I'm not mentally tough enough to come back. There's a few signs here, but you never know.
What's that? One of them running on a treadmill in the aircon.
Yeah, it's too hard to go outside.
You can jump off the treadie.
Do all sorts of things.
You can call an Uber home. Too.
All those sorts of things. But no, it's been awesome. So appreciate your time, and we can't wait to follow the journey. And let's hope that next time you're over, we can talk to you about winning a couple more big events this year.
I appreciate you having me on, and always any chance I can get fishing and the sport out there, and appreciate you guys having us on.
Sweet. So that's Carl Jocumsen and Chris George joining us. We'll take a break. More on the Semi-Pros up next.
Summer has arrived at Smithy's TGW Gym with new morning operating hours. Come and make use of our fully functional gym. We have a full range of cardio, weights and boxing equipment at your disposal. You can also soak up the atmosphere in our historic cafe with a coffee and toast for $5, along with a free 5-day gym pass for you or a friend. Summer is here, so drop into Smithy's TGW Gym today, 65 Anzac Avenue, Toowoomba.
At the Southern Hotel, our Sunday steak special has been so popular, we want to offer it on Saturday too. 180-gram rump mignon, 400-gram New York cut T-bone, or a huge 500-gram grain-fed rump, all for just $23.95. It's better at the Southern.
Just about due, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Thanks for joining us back on the Semi-Pros. What a great story. It's been, we followed Carl's journey and Joel and yourself, have had a bit to do with him here, bits and pieces here and there, but to see the way he talks and the emotion, I thought he was suddenly going to tear up again.
Yeah.
On that story.
So passionate, isn't he?
Oh, loves it. Yeah. And about just pushing the message about fishing and the opportunities that it creates and the love for it and the thrills you can get for it. And we spoke about work ethic with Kobe, and that didn't ring so far from what he's talking about, and getting out there doing sun up to sundown fishing, getting their 16-hour days doing the work. That's the same as getting in the gym, shooting hoops. And I don't think we do realise over here the magnitude of what he has achieved, really, in over there. So
talk about following his story as well. It's, obviously having that bit to do with him over the years. James, you and I both jumped on his Instagram and followed him on there, but if you don't already, get on there and follow him, because it's amazing the stuff that he does put up day to day. You think, gee, where's this bloke's out and, running in the morning, and then all of a sudden he's out in the boat and, teaming down rain at one point. And I don't know if he ever sleeps or not, but
and just a good guy.
Yeah, champion.
As he displayed there, like that fundraising, that's an amazing effort. So yes, and great to have Carl Jocumsen in the studio with us. As I said, yeah, no, we'll share up that particular interview a little bit later. Very much well worth watching for anyone that missed it. That's for sure. Righto, boys, what are we doing? Something. Southern Hotel, the shot clock. Southern Hotel. It's Super Bowl on Monday, so they're gearing up for their big Super Bowl celebrations. It should be a massive day at the Southern. So if you're looking for somewhere to go for Super Bowl, Southern Hotel's the go. So head out and see the team there. They'll be all geared up for that. But this is the Southern Hotel shot clock. Righto. Joel's come up with this great topic. Now, I'm probably going to assume this is based off a few things we've seen in tennis this week, but just the old, how did they pull that off? Like we saw Federer, what did he save? 7 match points at one stage there.
The young week. Coco.
Yes, they defeated the same thing. Did like we've seen some amazing things, and then unfortunately, from an Aussie point of view, watching what happened with John Millman, like Federer. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. 8-4.
Yeah,
he's
that
up
one.
In the super tiebreaker in the 5th, and he's got dusted 10-8. Oh, how did he do that?
Yeah, exactly.
He might have to do, and then he did something similar the other night. He saved 7 match points, would have said. So he's had a couple of Houdini efforts, so he might do it again here. But anyway, how'd they pull that off? Wins. Cricket, Joel. 24 seconds. You're on the clock.
Yeah, I'm going the Poms. Third Ashes game last year at Headingley.
Oh yeah.
Remember old Ben Stokes and Jack Weech, number 10. Old Stokesy, 135, not out.
One of the best innings you'll ever see.
Unbelievable. How'd they pull that off? I'll never know. Kept them alive in the Ashes. The Aussies were counting their pennies, thinking they had them done and dusted, but not to be. Stokes and Weech.
Yeah, that was incredible. Mine, I'm going a little bit left field, and it's more how did they pull that off? Meaning, how did they lose the Heat a few weeks ago when they lost 10 for about 10?
Gee whiz.
I can't remember who they played, but how. So I'm nearly going to turn the other way. How they lost that is still beyond me. The Renegades.
Yeah.
How'd
the Renegades pull it off?
Gone.
Yeah.
But I don't really think they deserve credit for pulling it off.
No, that's right.
They were handed
Choke
that's why I
more
said
than
it
it
was
was,
small
yeah.
go now though at the Heat. Just ridiculous.
Capitulation
and a half. Steve, what have you come up with here?
Gone Australia versus India back in 2001. Steve men were dominating India at the time, and they had a 10-wicket win in Mumbai. Then a fortnight later at Eden Gardens, rolled up with a 274-run first innings lead. And I don't know whether they enforced a follow-on or they might have batted first and just had that batted second, had that lead. But anyway, India have come out and they've VVS Laxman's put on 282 with Dravid 180, 376
that was
run.
Incredible.
Declared 7 down for 657, lead of 384.
Yeah.
And that was just before day 5, so day 5 pitch in India. Yeah. And they've taken Aussies 10 wickets in the last 70 overs. So just before lunch declared and
unbelievable, that
leveled
one,
up the series.
There's been a few. I just went quickly. I was remembering one now. I can't remember. It was sort of in the verge of one-day cricket in South Africa. I think we scored about 400. I remember then I thought, oh, well, and South Africa
creased them.
Yeah. And did it easy.
Yeah.
Like did it in about like the 44th over or something. Well, something like that. Like 400, like Australia made 400 and something like that. So, yeah, there's been some incredible ones there. But anyway, what's our next? Basketball. How'd they pull that off, Joel?
I'm going the 97 NBA Finals Series, Game 5. Jordan, the flu game against the Jazz. That was a bit of one of those moments. How did they pull that off? Jordan with the flu, your main man.
45 points.
Got red hot. Let's talk about endurance and will to win. Yeah. How'd they pull that off? You'll never know. But the Bulls.
What do you got?
Going to go the Maroochydore Clippers.
Oh, no.
Back in the glory days of the Mountaineers. Probably
I remember this
mid-2000s, I think.
Water Street.
Yeah, Water Street.
Bright coloured haired man. Correct?
Yep. So Brad Williamson was the killer, I think, this night. We were up 14, and we hadn't won this season, I don't think. So
about 50.
Yeah, scored about 50. We're up 14 with 2 or 3 minutes to go, and somehow Brad. That's just a typical. How'd they pull that off? I don't know what happened. It's a blur.
Were you guarding him?
No, nobody was.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but anyway, no. So the Clippers somehow they
Yeah. Okay. Mine.
Pull the pants down.
Yeah. Mine was. And I was there at the Boston Garden. Boston played Houston.
Oh, I remember you were nearly going to leave, weren't you?
And I was going to. I said to Aaron Moore, we're there. And then, anyway, so Harden.
A couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 years. So not last year before. Yeah. So, at the Garden, and the Rockets were just hot. They led by 35 or something, I think it was. So led by over 30 at the half. Hit everything, like Harden hit every step back, and then PJ Tucker. It was just ridiculous. And then I've run out of time. Anyway, so, but the Celtics came back. And I'm serious. I was like, it was very, very cold. I was going to say to Aaron, we'll go. I thought, if they don't get anywhere near 20 or something, we'll go. And anyway, yeah, they've come back and they've won. Like Houston just went, as they do, went ice cold. It was, and the Al Horford hit like a little bank shot, I remember, to win the game, like in the dying seconds. Crowd went nuts, and I was like, well, how they did that, come back from 35 points down. League, how'd they pull that off? League, what do you got, Joel?
2015 GF, Cowboys.
Yeah.
The last 20, 30 seconds, last play of the game. Michael Morgan draw pass, Kyle Felt in the corner, you beauty. First number on the sideline misses the kick. Ben Hunt drops his marbles, and then all of a sudden, Thurston. That's all she wrote. How'd they ever pull that off?
Yeah.
Thanks for
coming.
Wasn't
that a good game?
Oh, best.
Yeah.
Best grand final in history.
League. Should I go, Steve, or
No, I got one here. Yep. Last year, Saturday, the 2nd of November, might have been Friday, the 1st of November, Tonga beats the Kangaroos.
Yeah.
Don't know how that ever happened. Tonga, what is there? Couple thousand, 20,000 people in Tonga? I don't know.
Unreal.
Something like that.
Big moment.
And they've toppled the
minnows.
There's probably a lot more of people in Tonga. Anyone out there, let us know. My geography skill, I never was real good. So anyway, but yeah, that's how that happened.
Mine is, and I was saying before, I can't remember, whatever the first year Queensland went on the streak of winning all of the Origins. That game 3, we were down. I can't remember how many we were down, but anyway, we were going for all sorts. And that was when we scored a try, still going for all sorts. And then Brett Hodgson threw that pass along the ground back to I don't know who. Lockyer's
thanks for coming.
Yeah, picked it up, scored under the sticks. We win. And how the hell they did that is unbelievable. But talk about turning points in history of Queensland Origin. Like that potentially was a turning point in Origin. Because we get beat there. Lockyer, they said Lockyer was gone. Price, Petro, they're all gone, basically.
Skinned them all.
Yeah, need to start again. So, and what happened then?
Start of the dynasty.
Dominated. Yep. Union Rugby. How'd they do that?
2015 World Cup pool match. I reckon this is the biggest in Test match history when Japan 34 beat South Africa 32. I think it was 2015. That was England World Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rugby union. So, yeah, that's for me. Japs 34, Saffers 32.
Who'd they beat last year?
The Japanese.
They beat England?
They pull off another one.
Yeah, they did another one because that was mine. I'm just looking for it on Google. But can't find it. So last year, the Japs.
Yeah, they beat
the Japanese, I should say.
They beat somebody. I found one here. Here's mine, right? This is good, real good. Probably unfamiliar with either of these teams. So they compete in the South African Varsity Cup. Know it?
Well.
Follow it.
Big follower.
Back in 2014, so 5 minutes from time, NWU Phuket were leading 33-15, right? So 5 minutes from time. So game's obviously done, finished, whatever else like that. But they've scored 3 tries in quick succession and got up in 5 minutes. That's similar to your story with the Mountaineers and Brad Williamson. Like, that can't happen. 33-15 with 5 to go. You're home.
Yeah.
Apparently not. You got another one?
No, Japan versus Ireland it was last year.
Right. Yeah. Ireland. Soccer. Greatest comebacks, Joel. You should be leading us here.
Yeah, well, the biggest, how'd they pull that off? Leicester City, 2015-2016 Premier League champions at the nice succulent odds of 5,000 to 1, if you don't mind. Absolute minnows of the league, out of nowhere, just dominate the whole season. To win the Premier League, 2015-2016. How they ever did that?
Well, I'm glad you went that way because I thought you would. So I thought I'll go. I found this one. This one is, you probably know this one as well. 2012.
Jesus, cutting you off a bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's off you.
Okay, that's me. Nah, assuming that's the end of yours. 2012. Reading versus Arsenal. Ring any bells? The Gunners came back from 4-0 down after 37 minutes to win 7-5 in extra time to advance to the quarterfinals of the Capital One Cup. 4-0 after 37 minutes, and you come back and win.
Still a lot of game left, isn't there? Just pumped 7 into them. Had a big second half, the boys.
And they still let in another one. So it means 7-5. I was like, wow, that's a fair effort. Steve, what have you come up with?
Oh, a big FA Cup fan myself in 1989. Sutton United have knocked off Coventry. Unbelievable. It was an absolute mayhem over there. The Sutton United fans were going ballistic, and they could not believe they did it, and I still don't know how it happened.
Yourself, you were there supporting them right all the way through.
Big Sutton man over here. Big John Sutton man over.
Southern Hotel shot clock. How'd they pull that off? Tennis. As we talked about, we've seen a few this week already, maybe. Joel, what are you running with?
Oh, mate. Only because I don't like the bloke, but when Istomin beat Djokovic in 2017, Oz Open second round. Istomin 117 in the world versus the world number 2 at the time. Obviously, top 3 greatest of his generation. 4 hours, 48 minutes later, 117 in the world. Bowls him out. Catch you later.
Nice. Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to go Roger the other night. How did he win after against, was it Sandinger or something? Anyway, the US guy. And I liked what he, Millman.
Tennis. His name was Tennis.
But then I like his Twitter today. He's like, how many shots do you have to have for every match point you've
dropped?
You butchered against Roger Federer. So I thought that was good. He would have had a lot of shots too. It would be pretty
good drinking game. That one
pretty intoxicated.
Okay, mine. 20 seconds. I'm going to need about 48 seconds. This is one of my favourite stories of all time. Goran Ivanisevic won Wimbledon back in 2013. So Goran, as we know, was the madman and all that sort of stuff. So the story goes, got a wild card at Wimbledon because obviously because he was a big serve and they did a good record on the grass. Got a wild card in there, started gaining a bit of momentum, started going all right, and all of a sudden he got a bit of attention and he was sort of saying, give me a minute, and said, God wants me to win. Like God, that was he believed that God wanted him to win. That was what he kept saying. He got to the semi-finals. He played Agassi, I think from memory. He was down like 2 sets to love or something. The rain came, so had to delay. Came back the next day, beat him. He said, God sent the rain. Do you know he played in the final?
Rafter?
Yep. Pat Rafter. And he's rolled Pat Rafter and won Wimbledon. And again,
5-hour thriller or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
So poor old Aussie Pat had to be on the receiving end there. But how he won that, and that's one of my favourite stories of sort of what Carl's saying before, what mindset people set their mind to now. Like that, like whatever you believe or don't believe or who you worship or don't worship, if a bloke genuinely in their mind believes God wants them to win, it's pretty powerful. You're pretty hard to beat. Like he genuinely obviously believed that. So the story goes, folklore. But yeah, he won Wimbledon. Never heard of again. Just disappeared back into the abyss. Goran. That's the shot clock for the Southern Hotel. Remember what I was saying? On Monday. Get down there for Super Bowl. You got a tip for Super Bowl or what?
Chiefs. Remember we did that a couple of weeks back. Chiefs 49ers we all went.
Just checking.
I'm still on them.
I'm still on the San Fran boys.
I think it was 3 versus 1. I was the only one on the Chiefs, so fingers crossed we can get them over the line.
Who are you with, G? You supporting?
He had the beanie, remember?
Yeah, 49ers. 49ers. Beanie as a kid. Yep.
So you're on the 49er wagon.
Have to.
Righto. Get down Monday morning.
Few wings, few brewskis.
Yeah, it'd be a big day. Monday morning. Super
Wish
Bowl.
it was this Monday just gone.
Coopers.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been it?
Budweiser.
Jeez, I would have been there then.
Transferred Australia Day to
Super Bowl day.
Like as in the holiday, yeah. So head down to Southern Hotel.
Might get around to change the date.
The Home for Live, or the holiday date.
Yeah.
The holiday was different to the actual date.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, so get down to the Southern, Home for Live Sport, and they've got massive things going on there for the Super Bowl. Take a break. Repeat sets up next.
At the Southern Hotel, our Sunday steak special has been so popular, we want to offer it on Saturday too. 180-gram rump mignon, 400-gram New York cut T-bone, or a huge 500-gram grain-fed rump, all for just $23.95. It's better at the Southern.
Toowoomba Together wants to break the silence by empowering our sporting clubs to join together and embed social change. Do we accept abusing players or officials? Not in our club.
Do we accept verbal, physical or mental abuse towards women, men or our kids? Not in our club.
Do we accept foul language? Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, you got the Skull.
Thanks for joining us on the Semi-Pros. This is our summer edition. Share the feed, like the show, tell us what you think, all that sort of stuff. Thanks to all of our sponsors that make our show possible. So both this and Racing Nation. Wonderful to have support of all of our sponsors. So thanks to those that support us on the show. Another one of those coming up next who present Repeat Set Elite Cryotherapy. Leon Spain and the team. Pop down and see the guys there. Repeat Set, righto. Can Djokovic be beat?
Yep.
Tonight or in general?
Hopefully tonight. Like I said, I don't like the bloke, so hopefully he gets rolled
on the
tonight.
Express on the Federer?
Yeah, but I'm going old Dominic Team
Yeah.
to
win it?
To win it.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Good lad, hits it hard. I'm Team.
Team. Steve?
I think he'll win, so I guess that means no. I don't think he can be beat. I think he'll account for Federer quite convincingly, and then I don't. Federer. I think time might be catching up with Roger.
So you think he's pulled off a couple of Houdinis, he can't do it again?
and it's a different beast as going up to Kyrgios and the unseeded American and the mailman.
Millman.
So
Kyrgios played Nadal.
Oh, did he? Kyrgios. If he did play Kyrgios, he would have had probably a tough 5-setter against him as well. Well, Kyrgios would have beat Federer, so he's probably lucky.
Yeah, don't disagree, actually.
Yeah, no, I don't think he can be beat. And I think whoever who's in the other one,
Zverev and
your man
team. I just think it'll be too much of an occasion for them.
And Djokovic will
they
just
get
steamroll.
I think so.
I agree with you 100%. Actually, Rogers, we all support the Aussie in all due respect, but Millman and this other bloke that what's his name, that he saved the match points, he said
unseeded.
Tennis is his first name. We'll just call him Tennis.
Djokovic is not going to give him those
No.
opportunities.
No.
You wouldn't think, would you? Would I be fair in saying that?
He's had an easier run too.
100%.
Joker.
Exactly right. And Rogers had a few little injury concerns coming up as well.
He's under a cloud as well too. I see there pop up in my vivid research.
So there's our I don't think that's how you spell Djokovic, but you've worked it out. Can Djokovic be beat? It's popped up in our poll. Can he be beat?
Yep.
Tell us what you think. No, can't be beat. We were talking about Kobe a little bit earlier. There's a petition or a push, I guess. Should the NBA change the logo, so the NBA logo, to honour
the Kobe Bryant fadeaway, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I think it's a good idea. Be a nice little touch.
So it's a yes
for me.
Steve?
I don't think so. I don't think a league that's got that much tradition, what's it going to achieve? What's really for the logo is pretty good. It's pretty synonymous with the NBA. There's a lot of things, and Kobe deserves to be honoured, but I don't think that's probably not the thing to do.
Ask you as a question, and I say this in all due respect. If he was alive, would you be changing the logo to feature him?
No, I think it's probably just the circumstances that surrounding it. You know what I mean?
So, but an iconic image as such as that, I think, for example, I was thinking about this when you posed this question. And as I said, I agree. He's got to be honoured in some way because he was one of the greats of the game. But I thought maybe, I don't know who the scoring title's named after, or if it is named after somebody. but that to me would possibly be quite a
sentimental,
significant. The Kobe Bryant Trophy for
it's
scoring champion. And again, as I said, he
got a fair bit of traction though. The old logo change,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's pretty cool. I like it.
Looks
But
awesome.
I just feel, this is the same sort of thing. Like, I understand the circumstances. It's tragic, and he absolutely needs to be honoured. And I think we've seen a lot of that in the way that's occurred in the last few, the last week with all the different games and stuff. But in terms of something like that, of an iconic image of the representing all of the NBA, like, as I said, say he's alive and you say, okay, we're going to put either Michael Jordan or Kobe or LeBron, dare I say it, or whoever, would you Bird, Magic, Dr. J?
Plenty of them. Yeah, that's right.
The list sort of, goes on with in terms of if you do something like that. But I think he has to be honoured. And
he will. The first ballot Hall of Fame.
100%.
Yeah, isn't that sad though?
Yeah.
We don't get to see his speech now. I remember watching Jordan's Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah.
I remember running it in my bloody MySpace bio or something at the time. Part and parcel of it.
Yeah.
So
never say never, because limits like fears are often just an illusion. That's what he finished on.
Yeah, I've watched it a few times.
Yeah, mate, love it.
Yeah, no, well said, well said. So yeah, so anyway, that's we'll see what happens with that in terms of if anything does come of that, or if they look to implement that. We're still on the Kobe thing here. So in lieu of talk about honouring him, you can't do much more than what the Dallas Mavericks have done. They've retired the number 24 jersey, never played for them, had no association with them,
carved them to bits plenty of times.
Basically, like they had nothing to do with that, but they basically came out and retired the 24 jersey. So they, as an organisation, so it hasn't come down to individual.
Mark Cuban said that
hasn't come down to individuals saying, "Well, I'll wear 8 or 24. I'm going to change in honour of." This is the organisation basically saying no one will ever wear 24 in our organisation. So, should the NBA enforce, or whatever you say, every club to follow suit? That's the question. Should every club retire the 24 jersey? Obviously, it's already at Lakers as is, of course, but now it's been retired from
the Mavs.
The Mavs.
So it's one of those hard ones too, because obviously he ran the 2 numbers for a while too, didn't he?
Yep.
The 8 and the 24. So
only bloke to have 2 numbers retired.
That's right. So it's a real tricky one, but yeah, I reckon they should. I reckon that'll be a nice touch. Good way to honour him and remember him. So it's a yes from me.
Steve?
Mind you, I'm the biggest Kobe fan going too. The main reason I like basketball, so back in 97.
No, not really. I don't think they should enforce a follow, whether it's something that's like the unwritten law that players have
Just
an
don't wear it.
understanding that you don't do it. I think that would carry more meaning than an association telling them you can't do that.
Yeah.
To guys have the, I suppose, the desire to respect the number that he wore and not do that.
Yeah.
That'd be more than someone telling you that, no, you can't wear it. It sort
Agreed.
of loses its...
Yeah. I'm on the same pattern. So, did you see, I forget his name. Never heard
Dinwiddie?
of him. No, he did change. Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie. No, a young bloke, I think he's from the place with the Pacers. He wears 24.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm not going to change my number, because growing up, I had 2 idols, or 2 God, Kobe.
Yeah.
That's why he
exactly
plays
right.
at 24.
And then
so he's actually, so he probably feels, well, I'm actually honouring him already, and this is how I honour him, because he was.
That's right.
Yeah.
God didn't play the game or have a number, so.
And you think every kid going around
That's exactly
who sees that is probably coming through basketball wearing the Kobe shoes wants to wear 24. So what do you get to a point? Can't wear 24. Anyway, I think it's all heat of the moment sort of stuff.
Exactly.
And when everything's fresh, it is
Change
all
the
these
world.
things come out. You want to do everything. And it just shows the respect that everyone has for him. But I don't think you really need to enforce that anyway. If somebody wishes not to, a team wishes not to.
And exactly. Is probably no right or wrong answer to it, really, in many ways, is there? So, but I think it should come down to a personal choice if clubs want to. Like, remember, like LeBron obviously changed his mind. Remember there was sort of that's why he switched from 23 to 6 in terms of because of Jordan. They said, Melbourne should wear 23. But he obviously then, he went back to 23. So, yeah, I don't know. So, no, I don't think it should be something to enforce, but I think it should be something there where, because as I said, that I saw that and I thought, well, that's a really nice touch. That young, forget his name now, as I said, he plays for the Pacers or whatever. He basically gets what he said. He said, I chose 24
because of him. Yeah,
because of Kobe. That's seriously what he said. He said I had two idols growing up, God and Kobe.
Pretty solid.
Yeah,
putting them on the same pedestal.
So that's why he wears 24. So.
Yeah, well, you think of the amount of guys that wear 23 because of Jordan, and
exactly
in every sport, you see Warney and all the good guys,
Beckham,
and like
7 Beckham, 23 Beckham.
There's probably guys in other sports that do that because of Kobe as well.
Ronaldo, Messi, that's right.
Yeah, that wear that number. So you probably in many ways you're remembering him more by wearing the number.
Yeah. Every time you see it, like if you didn't see it, you fade into. I'd say he's forgotten about, but people don't. Every time they see it, there's Kobe's number.
Best bloke to wear 24 cents, or but things like that. And even I thought, like you saw a couple of guys here. It's still like Joel Embiid wore 24 for one game.
Yeah,
and hit a fadeaway for his 24th point.
Yeah, like that's you can't make this stuff up. So there's an example. I mean, wearing it once or.
Yeah,
retiring it but so Nick Kyrgios, as we saw, walked out with a Kobe jersey
38 on.
Novak Djokovic had it on his warm-up jacket and stuff. So, okay. Now, cricket. Starting to think now this is going. I was like, is this still going? I think.
So am I.
Big Bash. There's 5. I can't even tell you who's in it, but I'm
Stars, Sixers, Hurricanes, Strikers, and
the Heat aren't.
Thunder. There you go.
Right, okay. Well, I'll start then. I said, when we asked this question halfway through the season, I said the Strikers. So they're there. So I think they'll win it. I don't know where they finished in the 5, but they're in the 5. And they've got a good team. And Adelaide's a belter of a deck to bat on, obviously, as we saw the other night. Even though they got beat. But, Strikers. I think... I've got a good blend, and I've sort of, been on the bandwagon of the Strikers ever since I've watched them play somebody. Melbourne, down at the Gold Coast. Strikers for me. Yep. What do you got? Who are you on?
Throw a dart at the dartboard sort of stuff, isn't it? Anyone can win it.
Isn't one of the semis on tonight?
Yeah, Stars are playing.
Eliminator.
Are they? There you go. Sixers. Sydney Sixers.
Sixers?
Steve Smith.
Righto.
Yeah, I was going to go Sixers, but I won't now. I'll go... Who's the other team? Well,
Stars.
We can't pick Melbourne because they're Melbourne. Yeah, the Hurricanes, they need a lot of luck. But if Darcy's short and... Who's the other opener?
Wade.
Yeah, Wade. How good was Wade in? He's absolutely belting it. And they've got a good batting line. They've got McDermott to get a few runs. And
George Bailey?
Yeah, Bailey. And they're not too bad. I think their bowling lacks a little bit at the moment. But I'll go for them.
He's going to need to. It is on now. So Sydney Thunder are playing the Hurricanes right now.
The Eliminator?
Yeah, the Eliminator from Blundstone Arena in Hobart. And the Thunder are none for 102 off 9.2.
Who's got them?
Kawaja's got 54 of 33, and Hales is 46 off 23.
They could be chasing 1 million. Short boundaries down there, though. So
they are pumping it at the moment.
Watching.
Yeah, I answered, didn't I? Sorry. Adelaide. Okay, so that's a look at Repeat Set, sponsored by Elite Cryotherapy. We'll take a break. We'll wrap up the show. We'll have a look at our Rocks and Diamonds, and I don't think we picked a winner this year.
No, we haven't.
I'm the only one that's had to collect because it was scratched.
Cash back.
That doesn't really count, though, does it? Or does it? So we'll take a break. We'll be back to wrap up the show.
Hi guys, Lockie here from Hogan's Family Jewelers. Today we're looking at how you select a perfect diamond. We need to consider the 4 C's: cut, colour, clarity, and carat weight. In terms of discussing the cut of a diamond, we need to consider the aspects of the qualities of cut. At Hogan's, we only source triple excellent cut diamonds. In terms of colour, we look for the perfect white stone. We source stones from a D through to a G in colour, the top 4 colour gradings. Clarity is another really important factor in selecting your diamond. We don't want to look at the diamond every day and see inclusions or marks in the stones that distract from the beauty of the piece. The final of the 4 Cs is carat weight. A lot of people believe that a diamond's value is based just on its carat weight. This isn't truly the case. It's a combination of all the 4 Cs put together. There's one final hidden factor that I need to discuss about finding the perfect diamond. It's called fluorescence. When she wears the ring in natural sunlight, UV light, where the diamond is supposed to sparkle at its optimum level, you don't want any reaction. You don't want the diamond to go foggy, or a milky colour, or even a little neon blue sort of tinge through the diamond. This is why we only sell nil fluorescence diamonds and make sure that that diamond stays crystal clear whether you're indoors or outdoors. There'll be no reaction to natural sunlight. Fluorescence is one of the largest factors of devaluing a diamond. Be careful. Out there you might find diamonds that seem cheap, but truly they're going to be cheap for a reason. At Hogan's, we prefer our clients to experience superior quality diamonds. We only source the highest grade of GIA certified diamonds. That's the Gemological Institute of America, the harshest grading lab in the world. Some of you may have done some research on diamonds before and may fully understand the 4 Cs. But if not, we've got knowledgeable staff that will help you and guide you through selecting the perfect diamond. At the end of the day, it's all about quality, and at Hogan's, we prefer quality.
Just about doomed, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Semi-Pros. Big thanks to Hogan's Family Jewelers for supporting us here. They present our Rocks on Diamonds segment. Watching the Semi-Pros. There's just 3 of us here tonight. So Troy's away overseas or somewhere.
Japan.
On the bullet train.
He's big in Japan.
Yeah. He's on the bullet train right now. Okay. Hogan's Family Jewelers Rocks and Diamonds of the week. You're keen. You've got
keen as.
He's chomping at the bit. What do you want? Which one?
Rock.
Yeah. Right, go. You're on.
Everyone remember the old cuddly goalkeeper in Goldberg from the? Everyone remember him from
Knuckle Puck?
Yeah, that's him.
No, he was the goalie. The Knuckle
The keeper.
Puck was Russ. Someone. A little.
But yeah, the same movie is what I'm getting.
Go back to keeper.
Goldberg was the keeper.
Yeah.
He didn't do the Knuckle Puck. That was the other American kid that was in the second movie. Team USA, all the way.
All the way.
I know it well.
Anyway,
Russ Tyler. He was a knuckle
Greg
puck
Goldberg.
man.
Anyway,
yeah.
AKA Sean Weiss from the Weiss factory. If you missed this, gee whiz, he's got done for burglary and under the influence of meth. If you see a comparison of what he used to look like to what he looks like now, good heavens! He got
He's
released
lost a bit.
He's done a bit of weight cutting. Got released, and after 12 days back in society, he's got nabbed, and he's doing 90 days in the big house. Old Goldberg.
The goalie.
The old
Well,
child superstar to the drug fiend.
Mine's actually similar, but kind of not. Did you see Delonte West, speaking of blokes who appearance and what they look like? And so for those that know the story with Delonte West, now he's an NBA. Again, like a lot of stories that come out of America or the world, anyway, sport where grew up in poverty, et cetera, made basketball gave him a life for a living. He's earning millions of dollars. Obviously, he was in the Cleveland Cavaliers in LeBron's first stint there. That all ended unceremoniously with some of the wildest rumours that ever existed in the NBA. If you don't know him, have a look. It's insane. But anyway, so footage has emerged in recent times. He's back he's homeless on the streets, homeless. And same thing like you said before, Jolly. He didn't have the frame of a Goldberg, but if you saw his appearance, and it's probably not a good thing to have as a Rock of the Week, but it's just a sad thing to see. And I just sort of thought about how much it shows. Like we're talking to Carl before about America and the glitz, the glamour, the rich that comes with it, the reward that can be there if you're good enough in your chosen sport. Like a Delonte West who's come from nothing, from the out of the slums. Look at Mike Tyson. All that. It's just go over and over and over these stories, but it also has a way as a country where it just seems to spit them back out, and they end up back, I suppose, worse off than where they probably were before they even found fame. So Delonte West is on the streets, homeless, obviously got all sorts of issues going on. The footage emerged of him basically getting flogged in the middle of the highway by some, like, I don't know, like almost like a road rage incident, and he just looked...
Yeah, I seen that. It was
sad.
Pretty crook.
Yeah, terrible.
Cooked as well, I think, yeah.
Oh, he was, yeah. But it goes on, like he said, even during his career, he never really got out of that lifestyle. He just had millions of dollars to sustain it. That doesn't last forever when you...
Look at Lamar Odom, same sort of thing. Like he's, he ended up on death's door.
Rehabbing. Plenty of them do it.
At the brothel, out of overdose. Like, just, things like that. But anyway, so, as I said, it was a bit of a sad one to put it that way, but I just thought, Delonte West, rock of the week. Hope he sorts himself out.
Him and Goldberg together.
Yeah.
Check him in.
Yeah. Steve?
Yeah, well, I'll go.
You can lighten the mood.
No, what is... Sorry. No, I won't even go there. Controversy. Brisbane Heat. Last game of the year.
Wow.
Like so this was the last game, the last BBL game. They knew their destiny was out of hands, had to win. So they've changed the team up and picked Layla's been their opening bat for their opening bowl, for every game. And so they drop him.
Your man.
Bring in Prestwidge.
Yeah.
Oh, gee whiz.
Prestwidge could be at the end, needing dropped. Who did he drop? Who was way?
Yeah. No, Finch.
Finch, sorry. Dropped Finch on an absolute
sitter.
Soda.
Down his throat, wasn't it?
Should have eaten that, but he didn't. And then the next over, when they were still in it, I think they needed 10 off 6 balls, something like that, and through the legs boundary. Oh, absolute killer. And then Finch.
There's another gift.
And then I think next ball, Finch back to 6, didn't he?
So off cutting.
All over. Yeah. And cutting. Cutting bowling. I was just like, and he's going to bowl the last over. Cutting. I was like,
turn her off.
Shake hands. Walk off the field. You guys have done us. You need 10 off of Ben Cutting over.
He'll gift that to himself.
I don't know.
Did he bowl your last over? The Grammar game last week?
A similar type. Yeah. Yep. Huey Cutting. Come on, and got the same result. So, yeah.
Double rocks.
Yeah. But
tell us, what was the go there? Your mob. You had them beat the young fellas, didn't you?
Yeah,
had them rattled.
40 years old, mate, and these young fellas. Yeah, no, they need 10 off the last over, and same thing. Yeah, 4-6. Thanks for coming. Young fellas are too good. But the Heat, like that was just, I don't know what happened. You think what was Lehman thinking in the first place? What was I don't know.
So
and then he had Labuschagne had to bowl the third last over too. Like
he actually bowled him right.
He bowled all right, but not really. He went for 11. So
put him on for the last over then.
When they need 10, you get 11, so it probably doesn't help. But it's just just thought there's no thought. It was just dumb.
Yeah.
From the Heat. Yeah. And I'm a Heat fan. And I was glad they lost because they didn't deserve it,
did they? No.
So,
they let some people down.
I know. I don't want to get off topic here, but should what's his name, Lynn, be captain next year?
No way.
No. They only got it there because he's a big hitter. He ain't got a brain.
Yeah.
And he got found out as soon as the Renegades board open up. Well, Lynn's going to open. Oh, we'll open with our spinner.
Exactly.
See you later. You're out.
Yeah.
The only teams that Lynn got runs against, they bowled the seamers at him for 6 overs, and we'd probably spin.
He likes this.
Yeah.
But they only bowled spin because
that's the elite level of cricket in Australia. Like, what are these guys thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
It's not like the old bad old days where there's no footage or something and no one's seen anything of him and they just roll
what's
that.
this guy do? Oh, he likes that.
Yeah, he likes the ball coming onto the bat. Yeah, but anyway, that's probably another topic for another day. What the hell the Heat do? But that's one thing I think that someone needs to even get to him and say, look, just stand down and say you're going to concentrate on swinging the willow. You're going to stand down as skipper.
Yeah.
And then they bring in, I don't know who, to be honest, though. But they need to claim him.
Hopesy.
They need to claim him.
It's got to be. You can't make finals 2 out of 9 years when you have the talent that they have.
No.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I was saying, go through it. Look at the side that they had.
Even AB. What about the shot he's trying to play there? What are you doing, son? He's just come out here going cha-ching.
Well, he's been a failure, hasn't he? Oh, he got a few runs, but
come on.
They'll go on better with the young Pom.
Yeah.
Banton. Why? Because he sort of took a bit of pressure off Lynn.
I think the one shining light for him was Renshaw. Jeez, he improved this year.
He did, a lot. So, but anyway, that's whatever you were talking about. That's your rock of the week, diamond of the week. What do you got? On the
I'm going
on the brighter side.
The wild card Woodies. These boys here, Luke Saville and Max Purcell.
Yeah.
First All-Australian men's pairing since Woodbridge and Woodford to make a Grand Slam final in 98. Wild cards they were.
And they're into the final.
Into the all-men's doubles final.
Nice.
The old wild card Woodies. So that's my diamond of the week.
Outstanding.
Will be represented in some format.
Brilliant. The Woodies. Steve, what have you got? Have you got something there?
Yeah, I do actually. I screenshotted one. This is on the tennis as well. And the other semi-final, Alex Zverev. And initially before the Open started, before they started playing games, he actually pledged and said if he gets to win the title, $4 million, he will donate it all to the bushfire appeal. And that's
massive for him.
That's exactly right. Like he's not one of
Nadal.
He's not one of these guys that have made hundreds of millions of dollars out of the sport. And he come out as he's got the semi-final play. He said he's happy to honour that, and he'll honour that commitment that he made. So I'm actually on hoping, rooting for him. Zverev, because for a guy if it come out and it was Federer or Nadal and they've made
a bazillion dollars.
Yeah, it doesn't it's all sort of relative, I guess.
Yeah,
but for a young fella like that,
I'm with you.
Good on him, Alex.
Well done, Alex. Let's hope you win. He might throw it now.
Yeah.
I'll
get a runner up. Maybe I should give a runner up. At least I got to keep that.
Yeah, I didn't say only if I won it. So. But anyway, I'm with and this might tie in well with you, Steve, actually, and hopefully it continues. My diamond of the week, young jockey Bailey Nodif. If he's not in the top 2-3 jockeys in Queensland, claims a lot out of it. I'm not here. He is a superstar, and you consider he had a few little incidents, I suppose, in his apprenticeship early on. He had a little bit of a checkered pass.
I'm on a punt, the young fella.
A little growing up things and a few things there along the line, but just the way he's riding of late, I just think it's great to see another young Toowoomba apprentices.
Clifton lad, isn't he?
Done.
Well, you'd put Orman would nearly be in a top. He'd be top 5,
100%.
North and same. He's probably in the same mould as Jimmy Orman.
Exactly.
So whether he'd definitely be probably top 2, top 3. Jimmy,
for sure.
So I just think the way and I think he rode another 2 or 3 today.
Yeah.
2 or so yesterday. He hopefully rides at least 1.
He's on the good horse on Saturday.
Hopefully he rides at least 1.
Sit and steer, isn't it? Yeah. Hang on, young fella. Hang on.
But no, just credit to him because he's just riding outstanding at the moment. And he's on a wave of success. He won the Wave, whatever that horse's name is, the Huddy horse. He's just going enormous. So I think it's great to see he's going so well. And as I said, he's just got it. His dad used to call it back in the day. He's in that category again here now, where his claim's just an absolute bonus. He rides better than most seniors.
That's right.
And you're still getting 1.5.
But he's the type of bloke make your own luck though, isn't it? Those real hard workers that'll get up and ride the 15, 20 and work of a morning.
He'd be working hard.
100%. That's what I'm saying.
Tony.
That's why they get the chances though on the good horses, because they're hard workers. They make their own luck.
And you look at Tony, he's basically his number one rider. Not just number one apprentice. He's his number one rider. You look at, he rides, you put him on non-claimant races and things like that, and he's going, so Bailey Nodif, hopefully the success continues. Great segue, wrap-up show, multi of the week, winners galore.
We need them. We need them, boys. Come on, what have we got?
The winner this year.
Kick us off, Steve.
I'm not going to tip the horse.
Oh, come on, mate. You can't talk. He's saving the price or something, is he?
Yeah.
I won't tip this one because it's.
What
is it though?
First starter. Just don't know with these 2-year-olds. You can't be.
Brisbane
confident.
race one. Number what?
Yeah, we got a looming large one that had a decent trial during the week.
Won by 5.
Yeah. No, it showed ability. Hopefully it wins. It'd be nice.
Race 1.
Race 1, number 6, Looming Large. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. What are you tipping then?
What are you tipping it?
I've got a special.
Yeah. Well.
Race 7, number 7. One for you, barrier 7.
Here we go. Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't know if it's barrier 7, but it is race 7, number 7, and it's called Slow Hands.
They scratched it today to race on Saturday.
In the benchmark 70.
Slow Hands, you're on. Righto. Joel, what are you going to hurl at us?
Caulfield, race 7, number 2, Dullasan.
Yep.
It's a pretty good horse, this thing. It's the one that was made famous because they ripped Raquel Clark off
for Huey
when they took it down to Melbourne, and it sort of didn't avail for him. But to come out the next start and won a Group 3, the Carbine Club, which Al will tell you all about, I'm sure. But first up into 1200, the Manfred Stakes, Group 3, Craig Williams. Get your money on $2.90.
Righto. This will be a good one for the location where we're sitting here. Eagle Farm, race 9, horse 9. So for the 9 followers, 9,
Reed
9,
Ripper.
9, 9. Naval Strike. Jeez, it
hit the line real hard last start, didn't it?
It's a fair run. And then I got a little bit more confidence today when I spoke to my man Blair Gibson, who's given it a red-hot shake at about $30, $40. It's in about under 20s now, but I know it's run a lot of places.
How much you have on?
Yeah.
You.
He's a heavy Thursday tipper too, isn't he?
Loves a Thursday.
Heavy Thursday punter.
Early market specialist.
Yep.
Tell you what, if you got some tip out there, don't tell James, he'll snap it up.
Not mine.
I was on it yesterday.
I wish it was. But yeah, do you reckon it'd run a place? Because I've seen its last time.
So you're tipping it for a place?
A race, sorry.
Oh, race.
My apologies. No, don't worry about the place. Just back it to win.
Like FOMO.
Oh.
Yes. Don't worry about bringing up bad memories. But yeah, that's what I'm on. Naval Strike. You still get about $20 or something. Don't have to have much on it, those odds. Put them together and you go all right.
You do.
So good luck. So look, so you got Looming Large down there, Eagle Farm.
Going down?
Heading down?
No. Gonna play golf and I'll watch it on the app. Sky Racing Active.
Thanks for coming.
Hopefully, yeah, be nice.
Yeah,
so cutest runny, and then don't know.
Off the slipper.
Yeah.
Monthly medal. We'll just hold up the game.
Again.
Been done before.
Yeah.
Saturday occurrence for you boys.
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully a few happy cheers instead of the negative ones that normally come out of my mouth on the golf course. I'm just spraying them into the trees.
Well, it won't matter if that horse gets up.
No, probably won't finish the game anyway. So
straight to the bar. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, good running.
DNF. So anyway, good luck with the horse Saturday.
Thank you. I don't have to do much.
Yeah, Bailey notified.
Bailey, he doesn't have to do much either.
Or he might from that gate, sticky gate.
Just dig it in the ribs.
Yeah.
Slide forward.
Sit outside Uncle Frank.
Some big fan of the show. Big Steve Matthews reckons you won't beat it.
Might have to have a side pot. Little head to head
with Frankie. Righto. That's the show. Thanks for joining us. We'll, as you said, we'll share that interview with Carl Jochimson. Encourage anyone to share it and have a look at it. It was fantastic to have him on the show. But until then, we'll be back next week. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, guys. See you next week, eh?
Adios.
Just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros.